Hello everyone, this is Victor Momo from Excel Moments. This is the second part of the two series video on extracting the top N items by frequency. And it would be nice to, take a look at the first video before we come into this one. But I might just quickly recap what we did in the first video. What we're just trying to do is we have a list of 20 items with them being maybe 6 unique items, and we're just trying to extract maybe the top 3 items based on how many times they occur, or the top 3 most occurring, items, or top 4, whatever you want. So what we did here was to use helper columns, but I said that in the second video, I'm going to do it all in one cell. So first of all, of course, you need to know the number of unique items, what the unique items are, how many times they occur. You then sort based on the frequency so that you can then clip off at a certain point. So wherever if you are looking for the top 3, wherever your third most occurring item is, everything above that features in your top 3, and you then filter based on that. The filter helps you exclude, the items that should feature or not. So if you watch the first video, yeah, I explain it in a little detail. So now I'm going to try do it in one cell. You expect it to be easy moving from, if you have done it in helper columns, then it should be easy just piecing it together. But sometimes it doesn't just work that way. Okay, so let's give it a go. This shouldn't be too difficult. It's still going to follow the same logic. The first thing is we need to get a unique list of items. So I pull the unique function up and I select my array, right? Now that I have this, I need to know how many times these unique items occur in that range. You can do F9 here so that you see the unique items. Those are the unique items. It's always good to evaluate as you go. It helps you to understand what's really going on with the formula. So do a count if within this range you have this. So what you're just trying to do is that how many times do these unique items occur in the range. So let's evaluate this one. We expect numbers. So it says, oh, apple 4 times, ball 5 times, cat 4 times, and so on and so forth. Okay, so now you have the unique items and you have their frequency. The next thing is that you want to sort, but you want to sort the unique list of items with the frequency, or by the frequency. Most likely, of course, in this case, since I want to do a top N from largest to smallest. So I want to sort by, I'm just going to sort the unique list of items. So what I'm going to do is to introduce the sort by, which I said in the first video is like a custom sort. Sort by, my array in this case is going to be my unique, right, list of items. I can pull it from, I already have the expression, but sometimes I just like to put in the hard work. Okay. Now I'm going to sort this unique list by what? By the count, which is the frequency, yes, and I want it sorted in descending order. Okay, so those items initially, we had them showing us the frequency, but it wasn't sorted. So, but what we are now doing now is that we're sorting that unique list of items based on what? The frequency in descending order. So the one that occurs the most will be at the top, and so on. So F9. So you see that the order has been reversed now, right? So ball obviously occurs the most, and so on. So this is the first part of the function, right? So now we have a sorted, list of unique items, or a sorted unique list. So the next thing is to now know which items should feature or not, right, in our final expression. So for us to be able to get that, we first of all need to know, okay, if we are considering a top 3, we need to know what frequency is third most occurring. Once we know that frequency, any frequency equal to or above that, we obviously be in our top 3. So that's what we need to do next. Okay, so we're going to check. Let's go on. I don't know if I should break this. Maybe I just do the second part first, then I kind of bring it all together. Yeah, so let me just halt that there. Let me go into the second part, which is where I compare each of these frequencies, with the third most occurring frequency so that I get like a true and false. Everything is going to then fit into a filter function. If you watch the first video, you kind of see that my thinking is the same. I'm just repeating what I've done here. Unique lists, get a frequency and sort it. Then now for the filter part, I need to compare, the frequencies with the third most occurring frequency, which is where I did this greater than or equals to large. So that's the same idea here. Okay, so first of all, how do I get the frequencies? It's just the count if. We already know that. I like to repeat myself. Sometimes I like writing it all over and all over again. So count if in this range, the criteria is your unique. It's one very interesting formula. It's nice. Okay, so this is the first thing. So count if, right? This will give us all the frequencies. The challenge here is that this has to match with this expression, because now it would have been easy to just compare, but this expression has been sorted. So the only way things would be in the same place is if this is also sorted. So what you need to do is to then sort these frequencies that you have in the same order so that everybody is still aligned. You can imagine sorting data and you sort one column and you don't sort the other. You can check I think an article by Michael Olafusi. Was it Michael or Oken in one of the articles that said how sorting almost ruined my career? So here, what we are going to do is that we are going to sort. These are just numbers, so we are just going to sort, and we are going to sort this what -1. Okay, sorry, 1 for the sort index, just to choose the column. The sort order is what -1 to say descending. Okay, so what this is going to give us now is going to be similar to the expression we had in there. So we know that this is sorted, right? We then compare this with the third most occurring frequency. If, for example, I feel that I want to do a top 3. So I then put in the same expression, which is the count if. I will write this a couple of times. I know you guys are like, you can just copy and paste. Why do all this? Well, it's good you see how everything is being written, right? So we are just checking within that same frequency that we've used over and over, Okay, so we need one more bracket, then comma 3. So this 3 here is going to be the trigger. This is what will determine whether you're doing a top 3, a top 2, a top 4, a top 1. Okay, so you can close the bracket. If you evaluate this, it's going to just give you true, false, true, false. That's what it's going to be, So everywhere you have true, it means that those items have a frequency that is higher than the third most occurring frequency. It means they should appear in your top 3. Anyone that is false obviously will not appear. So these two expressions are really what we are going to piece together into a filter function. Okay, so what we are going to do is that we're going to pick the filter. What we have in this expression here, this is what we would filter, and we're going to filter it based on the expression we have in here. So let me pick this and then piece all of them together. So this will give me true, false, true, false, true, false, as you've seen. So I'm going to bring it in here, right? So let me start, then I'll paste. Okay, so I do a filter. So this is the expression that we have. This is sorted by frequency, but what you have in here are actually the items. Okay, sorted by frequency. You now want to discard some and accept some based on what this expression. This expression would say true, false, true, false, true, false. Anyone that gives a true would be included, anyone that doesn't would be discarded. That's just that. Once you have that, you can close the bracket and press enter. It's going to have a spill error because of this guy in the next column. Okay, so some of us understand how this works now, right? So what you can do is what you can remove the obstructions. So I can say select obstructing cells and do delete, and then my formula is free to spill. Okay, so now this gives me my top 3. The only thing I might want to do here is to point this 3 to this cell, so that I can just trigger it from there, if you may, right? So if I turn this into a 1, it's going to give me a top 1. If I turn it to 4, going to give me a top 4. If I turn it into 5, it's going to give me, a top 5. If they are ties, everything still works. Okay, let's see our top 3 again. Our top 3 is just ball, apple, cat, and dog. So again, if I change apple to something else just so that apple drops out of the top 3, it should drop out in both cases. So you can see, well, it drops out here, and what? It also drops out here. I know I'm starting to have a little overlap with my initial, what's it called? My initial cells. But I mean, I just decided to leave this here so that we could still, so to say, kind of follow the logic. It's a little funky, but it's really the same thing. The first thing is getting a unique list of items, getting the frequency, then you sort the unique list of items based on the frequency. That whole part is where you have this sort by all the way here. That's really what it is. You're sorting the unique list based on what the frequency is, and you're sorting it in descending order. That's all. Okay. The next thing is just to say, okay, fine, which items will feature in my top 3, which will not feature. So how do I know that? I look for the third, in this case, let's say the third largest number from the frequencies. The frequency is just this count if expression, which you'll probably be a little used to now. Once I get the third largest number, any other frequency that is greater than or equals to that is obviously in the top 3. That's the simple logic. The only thing you need to do here is to make sure that you have a sort, because here you sorted this by frequency. So in this expression here, where you have all the frequencies, they must also be sorted by frequency so that everything is matched. It's like you sorting this column and then you don't sort the frequency column. There's now a mismatch. If you then do some calculations down the line, you'll be having some wrong entries. Okay, so it's something you might need to of course watch over maybe once over, and you'll be fine. Of course, I'm going to share the workbook so you can also access it and play around, just to kind of show that the dynamic arrays make things a little easier. I've solved this previously using the frequency function. You could also solve it using a combination of like aggregate, sum product, count if, a couple of nested functions that way. But the dynamic arrays kind of make it a little easier, and the formulas are maybe much shorter. I think this is even one where it is really really long, but just something that you can play around with. It's really really dynamic, and the formulas keep updating as the data set of changes or there's any update to any other cell that affects your results. So like I said in the first video, if you have any comments on maybe a concept you want me to do a video on, I'll be more than willing to do that. If you like this video, you can hit the like button, and you can also subscribe to our channel Excel Moments. So as I always say, if you can think it, Excel most likely can do it. See you next time, and I'm out.